There's a moment in life you don't see coming. Not when the room is full. Not when your phone is buzzing. Not even when people say they love you. It comes later, quietly. And by the time you notice it, you're already sitting in the middle of it, wondering how you got here. Alone doesn't always look like being abandoned. Sometimes it looks like laughing at dinner and feeling nothing when you get home. Sometimes it looks like answering every message, showing up for everyone, doing everything right, and still feeling like there's no one who really sees you when the day is over. That's the part people don't talk about. We talk about heartbreak, we talk about loss, we talk about betrayal, but we don't talk enough about the slow, silent distance that can grow between you and your own life. The kind that doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. The kind that builds one small compromise at a time. One swallowed feeling. One I'm fine. One more day of being strong for everybody else. And there's something even deeper hiding under that. Because sometimes the loneliness that breaks you isn't the absence of people. It's the absence of truth. You can spend years surrounded by voices and still never say what's really happening inside you. You can become so good at being okay that nobody notices you're disappearing. Maybe you know this feeling. Maybe you've been the reliable one, the calm one, the one who listens, the one who doesn't want to be a burden. So you learn how to carry things quietly. You learn how to smile at the right moments, how to say, "I'm just tired," how to keep the conversation moving away from your own heart. And at first it feels mature, strong even. You tell yourself you're handling it, that everybody has something, that this is just what adults do. What adults do. But there's a cost to being emotionally invisible for too long. One day, you wake up and realize nobody knows where it hurts. Not because they don't care, because you never let them see. And that truth is hard, really hard, because it's easier to blame the world. Easier to say, no one checks on me, or no one understands, or I'm always there for others, but nobody is there for me. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes people do fail us. But sometimes the deeper truth is that we trained everyone to believe we didn't need anything. That's the painful part. People can only meet the version of you that you keep introducing. If you keep introducing strength, they will admire your strength. If you keep introducing calm, they will trust your calm. They will trust your calm. If you keep introducing the polished version of your pain, they may never realize there's a storm underneath it. Here's the unexpected part. Loneliness doesn't always begin when people leave. Sometimes it begins when you do. When you leave your own needs unanswered. When you leave your own feelings untranslated. When you leave your own heart sitting in the dark because it seemed more convenient than letting someone see the mess. That's where a lot of us get stuck. We think we're protecting ourselves. But what we're often protecting is the image of ourselves. The capable one, the easy one, the one who doesn't need much, and over time, that image becomes a prison so subtle, you don't notice the bars until you finally feel alone. And when that moment comes, it can feel almost unreal. You're sitting on the edge of your bed, eyes driving home at night, or standing in the kitchen with the light from the fridge on your face, and something inside you says very softly, "This can't be all there is." Not because your life is empty, but because somewhere along the way, you stopped being fully in it. You became functional instead of honest, present instead of connected, needed instead of known. And being needed is not the same as being loved. Being surrounded is not the same as being held. Being admired is not the same as being understood. A lot of people spend years chasing the wrong cure for loneliness. They chase more plans, more attention, more productivity, more noise, but noise can't heal what silence created. Because the real ache isn't always a why is no one here. Sometimes the real ache is, why don't I feel safe enough to be real when they are? That question changes everything. Because now the issue is no longer just other people. Now it becomes a return to your own voice, your own truth, your own permission to say, actually, I'm not okay. Or, I miss who I used to be. Or even, I don't know what I need, but I know I can't keep pretending I need nothing. That kind of honesty feels small when it begins, almost insignificant, but it isn't. It's the first crack in the wall, and usually that wall didn't appear overnight. It was built in childhood, in heartbreak, in disappointment, in the moments when vulnerability was ignored, punished, laughed at, or met with silence. So you adapted. Of course you did. You became careful, efficient, self-contained. You survived by becoming someone who could carry pain without asking for help. And maybe that version of you did save you once. But maybe that version of you is also the one keeping you lonely now. That's a hard thing to admit, because we get attached to the identities that protected us. The strong one, the low-maintenance one, the independent one, the one who never needs to call twice, the one who says a "don't worry about me" and means a "please notice me anyway." There's so much human sadness in that. Wanting to be seen, not knowing how to ask, hoping someone will sense it without you having to speak. Sometimes they won't, not because your pain isn't real. Not because you're too much, not because you're unlovable, but because unspoken pain is often invisible pain. And this might be the most personal truth of all. A lot of us are not lonely because we have no one. We're lonely because we've become strangers to ourselves. We've ignored what we feel for so long that when life finally goes quiet, we don't know how to sit with our own heart. We don't know what it's asking for. We only know something is missing. That's why the silence feels so loud. Because it's not empty. It's full of everything you postponed feeling. Grief, exhaustion, disappointment, need, love that had nowhere to go. Words you swallowed because they arrived at the wrong time. And when all of that rises at once, it can feel like breaking. But maybe it isn't breaking. But maybe it's finally hearing yourself. Maybe the loneliness wasn't sent to punish you. Maybe it came to interrupt you, to stop the performance, to expose the distance, to show you that a life can look full and still feel disconnected if you are absent from it. And here's the line I wish more people heard before they hit that wall. The saddest kind of alone is being abandoned by your own honesty. Because once you lose that, no amount of company can fully comfort you. Well, comfort you. But the beautiful part, the part worth staying for, is that the way back often begins quietly too. with one honest sentence, one real conversation, one moment of not pretending, one text that says, can I be honest? I've been having a hard time. One night where you stop running from yourself and just sit there, breathing, listening, letting the truth be ugly before it becomes healing. That's not weakness. That's the beginning of connection, real connection. Not the kind built on performance, but the kind built on presence. The kind where you are not loved for how easy you are to carry, but for how real you are willing to be. And maybe that's what being less alone actually means. Not having more people, having more truth. So if you've been feeling that quiet distance lately, if life has felt strangely heavy, even when nothing obvious is wrong, if you've been smiling in public and going numb in private, maybe this is your moment to notice, not just the loneliness. Just the loneliness, but what it's trying to say. Be gentle with yourself.